Have you ever wished for just a few more hours in the day? To finish that big project, or finally hit the gym, or just catch up on life? We've all been there. And it's so tempting to think of sleep as this luxury we can just cut back on. But what would happen if we cut it out completely? What if you just stopped? Let's find out.
So let's really ask the question, what would actually happen to your mind, to your body, if you decided to never go to bed again? Well, the answer is way more dramatic and honestly way more dangerous than you probably think. And to see just how bad it gets, we can look at someone who pushed this limit further than pretty much anyone else in history. 264 hours. That's 11 straight days. Back in 1965, a 17-year-old high school student named Randy Gardner decided to stay awake for a science fair project. He ended up staying awake for 264 hours, setting a world record. And his journey gives us this terrifyingly clear roadmap of what happens when you just never turn the lights off. Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. The first day without sleep, it's not at all what you'd expect. You don't just slowly get more and more tired. Instead, your brain, well, it plays a really clever trick on you.
So, it starts out pretty normal. After about 6 hours, your body starts pumping out the stress hormone cortisol. You know the feeling. You're getting tired, a little irritable, maybe a bit foggy. But then, as you get closer and closer to that 24-hour mark, something really weird happens.
Right when you think you're about to hit a wall, your brain's reward system, the mesolimbic pathway, just floods your system with dopamine, and all of a sudden, you're not tired anymore. In fact, you feel fantastic. You feel energized, motivated, maybe even a little euphoric. The world literally looks brighter.
But here's the deception. While you might feel like you're on top of the world, your brain is already failing. Your reaction times are slowing way down, your judgment is seriously impaired, and your memory is starting to get glitchy. To anyone else, you'd probably seem drunk. This high is a complete illusion, and trust me, the crash is coming.
And boy, when that dopamine high wears off, things go downhill, and they go downhill fast. The next 48 hours are basically a cascade of system failures, both in your brain and in your body. Once you pass 36 hours without any sleep, the effects get really severe. Your brain is desperately trying to save energy, so your memory and reaction time just fall off a cliff. By the 48-hour mark, 2 full days, your body starts to seriously protest. And this is exactly what happened to Randy Gardner. His eyes literally stopped being able to focus. He got super moody and couldn't coordinate his movements. He even lost the ability to identify an object just by touching it. And inside his body, things were even worse. It stopped processing sugar correctly, and its immune system basically began to shut down, leaving him wide open to getting sick.
Then you hit 72 hours, 3 days. Your brain is so starved of REM sleep that the wall between your mind and reality just dissolves. You start to hallucinate, seeing things, hearing things that aren't there. You become paranoid. You can lose track of who you are, what day it is. It's terrifying. So why? Why does our brain break down so completely?
Well, to get why this happens, you have to understand what sleep is actually for. It's not just your body taking a break. No, it's an active, absolutely essential maintenance period for your brain.
See, all day long, as your brain cells are working hard and burning energy, they produce all this waste. One of the main waste products is a chemical called adenosine. And as more and more of it builds up, it creates what scientists call sleep pressure, that heavy, irresistible feeling that you need to sleep. A little fun fact, this is exactly what your morning coffee is fighting. Caffeine works by blocking those adenosine receptors, tricking your brain into thinking it's not tired.
But adenosine is just one piece of the puzzle. All that toxic gunk needs to get cleaned out. And when you finally fall asleep, your brain activates this amazing cleanup crew called the glymphatic system. It basically uses your cerebrospinal fluid to power wash your brain, flushing away all those toxins. But if you don't sleep, that cleanup crew never shows up. The trash just keeps piling up, and that is what causes all those terrible symptoms.
So what happens when this toxic waste just keeps building up day after day? A few sleepless nights are bad enough, but chronic sleep deprivation, or pushing it to the absolute limit like Randy Gardner did, that can have truly life-threatening consequences. Okay, get ready for this number because it is just staggering. Studies show that if you chronically sleep fewer than 6 hours a night, you increase your risk of having a stroke by 4.5 times compared to someone getting a healthy 7 or 8 hours. the damage is real, and it adds up over time.
Over time, a lack of sleep just ravages your entire body. We're talking high blood pressure, chronic inflammation, your hormones go completely out of whack, your body even gets so desperate for energy it starts breaking down your own muscles. After about 2 weeks, your immune system is so shot that you could actually die from something as simple as the common flu.
And if you want the ultimate, tragic proof of just how necessary sleep is, look no further than this horrifying condition. People with fatal familial insomnia have a rare genetic mutation that makes it impossible for them to sleep. It puts them in this nightmarish state of constant wakefulness that, within months, leads to dementia and then, inevitably, death. It's the starkest reminder there is: sleep is not optional.
So, after all of this, what's the big takeaway? What should you remember the next time you're staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., tempted to pull an all-nighter?
The conclusion is pretty simple. Sleep is a fundamental biological need, just as vital to your survival as eating, drinking, or breathing. It's when your body repairs itself, it's when it replenishes its energy, and most critically, it's when it takes out the trash that's been building up in your brain all day. Sacrificing sleep isn't a badge of honor. You're sacrificing your health.
You know, we live in this 24/7 culture that's always glorifying the hustle, the grind, and it makes rest seem like a weakness. But as we've just seen, a sleepless life isn't more productive, it's just a rapid decline into breakdown and disease. It really makes you wonder, in our constant search for more time, are we losing the very thing that makes our time worth living?
Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe our channel.